lighting. It's just that in any other light I look a bit like Casper the Ghost. Hello, I'm back. And not with a Doctor Who video, I'm very sorry. And that is because this week I'm going to be doing my video on two of my favourite shows in the entire world that I've been rewatching at the minute. And I'm just so in love with them that I thought, God, I need to make a video. And those are Life on Mars and Ashes to Ashes. I bloody love them. I'm going to split this video into two sections. The first section is going to be why they're so great, why you should watch them, and why they're so great for escapism, especially in this time. And secondly, I will be comparing the two shows to maybe help you make a judgment on which is better. I know I already have an opinion on which is better and I won't be revealing that just yet. I really don't like this lighting. I want you to see my sexy makeup. I made it as Alex Drake as possible. Before I get into the video, I will say that I won't be outlining any major plot points, especially things that happen in either finale. It is the spoiler-free video, hopefully. Starting off at the beginning then with Life on Mars. Life on Mars tells a story of Sam Tyler, played by John Sim, who was a DCI in 2006. It's when Love and Monsters was released. I wonder if Sam Tyler watched. I mean, do you think Sam Tyler watched Love and Monsters? Anyway, Sam is hit by a car and he wakes up in 1973. And it's unclear whether he's gone mad, he's in a coma, or he's gone back in time, as he says much more beautifully than I did in the title sequence. In 1973, he works for the Manchester Police Force under the harsh command of one DCI Gene Hunt. Because, by the way, in 1973, he's demoted to a DI. Scandalous, I know. He also meets Chris and Ray, who are just basically embodiments of the 1970s sexism and racism and all the bad things of the 1970s. But also he meets Annie, who is definitely his comfort in this new insane reality. Oh God, if that dinging starts. By the way, if a dinging starts, don't blame me. Blame the world. But the star of the show, aside from Sam obviously, is definitely Gene Hunt. He is the epitome of a corrupt, twattish, violent, alcoholic 1973 DCI. However, you can't help but just love him to pieces. Let me put it out there, he has the best lines of any character ever. I love him. I love his dialogue. He's just the best. Throughout the series, Sam gets messages from the other side through, you know, radio, the TV. He gets haunted by the test card girl. I said test card then, not Tesco. Basically from doctors and his family members. Makes you think, oh, he is in a coma then if he's hearing that. But you just never quite know what is going on and how the hell he's gonna get home. Wikipedia describes Life on Mars, and let me get this sheet out, as a police procedural, a supernatural drama, and a sci-fi. Which, I know it sounds mad, but it's absolutely brilliant because there is nothing quite like Life on Mars out there. If you've been hearing any weird noises, it's my radiator. I am so sorry and I'm really annoyed. Anyway, fast forward to 1981 and we have the spin-off Ashes to Ashes, which stars Keely Hawes as Alex Drake. And like Sam, she, in 2008, works for the police. However, she is shot in the head and wakes up in 1981, again alongside Gene Hunt. However, Alex has more of a motive to get back because she has a daughter. So, what makes these shows so great then, if my radiator doesn't interrupt? In my opinion, it's because they have this weird sort of double-layered escapism, because you're not only going into one televisual world, but you're also going into a world within a world, which is Gene Hunt's world. And I've got a hair in my mouth. You are stuck alongside Sam and Alex in these eras. That gets you really invested not only in the characters but in the mystery of, is it a coma, have they gone back in time. Also, they're just great as period pieces, you know, they really encapsulate the eras that they're set in their aesthetic and in their characters, you know, with Jean and Chris and Ray especially. They're brilliant crime shows. I know I haven't really mentioned that much yet, but that is what they are. You know, alongside all the craziness of the mystery of whether it's coma or whatever, you have mysteries in every episode about a case that they're working on. Pretty much all of them are really well written. The cast is brilliant as well for both shows. You have some amazing guest stars, but you know, the main cast really shine. Love them with all my heart. I forgot to say this, but the soundtrack is incredible as well to both shows. They are bloody amazing. On to section 2 of my video, which is the comparison of the two shows. I will say before I get into it that it's popular opinion that Life on Mars is the superior show. However, personally, I do prefer Ashes to Ashes, so I'm sorry. I will try and keep this section as objective as I possibly can, but if there is any bias, I'm really sorry. It's just because I love my Alex Drake and my Gene Hunt 80s land. Sorry, I did have to put the light on because it got really dark all of a sudden, so I'm sorry that I look awful in this light. Really do apologise. The first thing I'm going to compare is the two leads, so Sam Tyler and Alex Drake. I think in general people do prefer Sam because he's a lot more grounded than Alex, you know. He's much more down to earth, whereas Alex she's very confident, and you know, sometimes that can come across as arrogance. I can see why people do find that annoying, especially in that first series. However, I do feel like over time she does become less arrogant. In terms of the other characters though, I think Chris and Ray especially shine a lot more in Ashes to Ashes than they do in Life on Mars. In Life on Mars, they do a lot of sort of staring in the background and not doing much to do with the actual plot. Whereas in Ashes to Ashes, they have a big influence on the plot. Sorry, I can't speak anymore. Also, Shaz. I think Shaz in Ashes to Ashes does have a lot more character development than Annie, which is strange because Annie is a lot more focal to the plot of Life on Mars. But they're both brilliant characters. I can't knock Annie, she's amazing. I love her to pieces. I would snog her, I'm just saying, Sam, I'm sorry. Gene, we have to compare Gene. Gene in Life on Mars I think is a lot harsher, and he's a little bit more, but he still is amazing in Life on Mars. I can't say that he's bad in Life on Mars. It's just that in Ashes to Ashes he does have a little more character growth or whatever, and he's a bit nicer, I find. Probably because he fancies Alec. Moving on to that, actually, the romance. I definitely would say that the romance between Annie and Sam is superior to that of Gene and Alex. It just seems more authentic, and I love the sort of conflict that Sam and Annie have, because Sam only tells Annie about the fact that he's come from 2006. He doesn't tell anyone else, and he trusts her and she's like, what are you doing? However, that really does strengthen that relationship, and it makes it feel so special, and she is such a special character to the show. You know, she is the person who looks after Sam the most, and I just love Annie Cartwright. So aesthetic wise, Life on Mars is very grounded, it's very gritty. It does feel like real life 1970s working class Manchester, whereas Ashes to Ashes is set in London. It does feel a lot more stylized and posh and shiny, and it does have a bit of an exaggerated aesthetic. Life on Mars is just very brown because everyone wore brown in the 70s, whereas like Alex's flat is all red. It's bright red, and the clothes she wears are bright red and blue, and her lipstick and her eyeshadow is always so bold and gorgeous. And so yeah, it does feel more of a fantasy than reality. So I will give Life on Mars that. The reason I think I love the aesthetic of Ashes to Ashes so much is because a lot of it is based on Scary Monsters and Super Creeps, which is a David Bowie album, my favourite album of all time in the whole world, and of course the song Ashes to Ashes is on that album. Hang on, wait a minute. There we go. See, I just love this album so much. You see, he's a clown, and you know, you have the clown in Ashes to Ashes. Oh god, I love it. Mwah. But anyway, back to the video. God, I'm so sorry about my insanity. The last thing I want to compare, really, I know I've rushed this a bit, it's just I feel like I'm babbling too long, is a story arc. I feel like Life on Mars doesn't really have story arcs that much. It is mainly focused on Sam, whereas Ashes to Ashes does have 3 very focused story arcs, and I think that makes it a little bit more compelling, I think, to me anyway. I think Life on Mars also has sort of stronger individual stories and mysteries. It does feel more of a crime show. I feel like I'm not making any sense anymore, so I'm gonna shut up now. The last thing I want to say is Life on Mars and Ashes to Ashes are on BritBox, iPlayer and Netflix. However, I would definitely recommend getting them on DVD, and that is because I'm not sure about this or anything, but I'm pretty sure there was a limited print of the DVDs, so it means they're really hard to find. I have never, not even once, seen an Ashes to Ashes or Life on Mars DVD in HMV. I've just seen them in charity shops and in CEX. This one in particular This on Amazon is £40, just for series 3. And in shops, I've seen it for £15 in CEX, second hand. I got this for £7.50 off Facebook Marketplace last week. So I would just say, if you ever see a physical copy and it's relatively low price, I would get your hands on it because it's worth it. I feel like if they ever get pulled from any streaming services, they would be quite hard to find again. But anyway, please watch Life from Mars and Ashes to Ashes. They're the best shows. I hope this video made sense, because I know I was just waffling for a lot of it and I got annoyed at this radiator, which I know is still making noises. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Love you guys. See you next week. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Have a beautiful day.